Everything that's been built for 19 years.
Gone.
In a blink of an eye.
Homes wiped off foundations, cars and trucks tossed into the air.
At least 23 people were killed in Lee County, Alabama, 3 of them children. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live tonight in Lee County, which is right across the Georgia border.
Denise, the storm was widespread and very powerful.
Very powerful. I want to show you just how powerful. This is a convenience store. The entire front wall blown off. Some of the contents blown out. You can see a bathroom sink right there. Over here at the pumps, they're just torn apart. The damage, I gotta tell you, is bad. But I talked to many people here in Lee County who say they're thankful that they survived an EF4 tornado.
It was so black, you couldn't see. It was just rain and debris swirling and black.
Crawford Tatum was in his truck heading straight into the path of the tornado. Just a couple of 100 yards away, his son and 2 small children were taking cover in the barn, terrified as they heard the storm approach.
They could hear all the noise. It was just loud. It's the tin tearing off and all the wood coming down, metal frames coming down.
Tatum's property backs up to the hardest hit area in Beauregard, where homes were obliterated.
2 homes completely leveled and gone, houses moved off foundations, houses completely obliterated and scattered into wooded areas, vehicles overturned, everything from small vehicles all the way up to large tractor trailers, transport trucks that were turned on the side.
Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones says the damage is catastrophic. Homes damaged beyond repair. Lives ruined forever. At least 23 people were killed in the tornadoes that hit Lee County. Dozens of others are hurt.
The loss of life and the hurt, the pain that these families are going through, words cannot express.
Mary Patel's home was damaged in the storm, but she says she's one of the lucky ones.
I'm blessed. Mine can be fixed. But, there's a lot of lives that won't ever be fixed. And that's what's so sad.
Alabama Governor Kay Ivey says it's hard to believe the damage all around her, and her heart goes out to all of those who lost a loved one.
Tragic, honey, tragic. People are dying. It's awful.
Yeah, it really is awful when you drive down the road and see damage all around you. Now, coming up on Fox 5 News Edge at 11, how the community is already pulling together to help each other. Reporting live in Lee County, Alabama, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
All right, Denise, see you tonight on News Edge. Well, here in Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp has declared a state of emergency in Talbot County along with Grady and Harris counties.
And this just in, the National Weather Service now confirms the damage in Georgia was caused by an EF3 twister. They think it was the same tornado that first touched down in Alabama, as David was telling us. And if that's the case, one monster tornado carved a path of destruction for more than 60 miles.
Fox 5's Doug Evans spent the day in Talbot County, where the damage is unbelievable.
Standing in what was an apartment building in Talbotton. One lady got a broken leg, another got scrapes and bruises. A third lady was able to escape and run to a friend's apartment, untouched by the tornado that swept through their building.
We just try to make the best of the situation. Just trying to make the best of it. And for it to do this to the city is really heartbreaking and shocking and devastating. But you got to make the best of the situation, pray God will answer it, and He by our side, and all we got to do is just stick together.
This was Talbotton today.
Tornado came out of nowhere.
Skyfox drone shows us that Sunday's twister stomped on Talbot County. At what used to be Ray Jenkins' home, he is standing in the only boots and clothes left. Everything else was taken or destroyed.
I lost all 5 vehicles and lost my house. And everything just gone.
And look at Kalisha Leonard's house, or what's left of it. Friends are helping the mother of 3 salvage her furnishings. Skyfox drone shows us how the tornado twisted her house off its foundation. She says she and her children had been hiding in a back room that was destroyed. They all survived.
The house did a 180 turn, and it just wiped us out.
Like, that sound of that tornado is something I never forget.
The storm that hit Talbotton is the same tornado that hit Lee County, Alabama, killing more than a dozen people. This area is 80 miles from there, and the National Weather Service is investigating the possibility that the tornado was on the ground for most, if not all, of that 80 miles, striking Talbotton with tornadic winds of at least an EF2.
We're talking 120, 130, possibly 140 mile-an-hour winds.
Keith, how fortunate are we here in Georgia not to have any fatalities?
We're very fortunate that we're not dealing with the same thing that they're dealing with in Lee County, looking at the damage around here.
About a dozen people went to the hospital, none with serious injuries. In Talbotton, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
In the midst of the devastation, a small symbol of hope. The tornadoes may have leveled a church in Talbotton, but the altar is still standing. Take a look. This is where St. Mark's once stood. You can see a large concrete blocks there on top of what remains of the church's pews. Thankfully, no church members were inside when that tornado struck.
President Trump has pledged the government's unwavering support to the state of Alabama during this time of tragedy. He spoke about the catastrophic damage earlier today.
The town, schools, churches, and homes were devastated by tornadoes of a force like we haven't seen in a long time. Historic. Our whole nation mourns for the more than 20 lives lost and for the heartbroken families they leave behind. I got reports on it this morning, and it was absolute devastation. It was just terrible. It's at times like this, it's more important than ever to be close with the ones we love and to cherish our friends and our family and to unite as one nation.
The president directed FEMA to provide immediate assistance to the hardest hit areas. He says teams are already there, in fact, working in full force. And this just in from Governor Kemp. He tweeted the following quote, "I just spoke on the phone with POTUS, the President of the United States. He offered the White House's full support to Georgians impacted by yesterday's severe storms and for those still waiting for federal disaster relief for Hurricane Michael damage."
Now, this story is still unfolding tonight as crews search for survivors in Alabama. And we'll stay on top of all of the developments and bring you any updates as we learn them. Russ?